I wrote a tiny program here for you guys. I wanted to be able to explain that very well, hopefully. And we're going to go ahead and start with the include stdio.h. This is actually to include the standard input and output header, which has something to do with the fact that anything to do with printing something to the output or bringing something from the outside when we do the reading from the user, it has to be inside the stdio.h. Of course, we're always going to start with integer main with the parentheses. Notice those from spaces are what we call them white spaces. You have to use them wisely in order not to really create an ugly format for your code. So make sure that you understand those are freely used, but use them wisely. Again, this is an open brace. Now we're talking about opening the system or using the system command in order to clear the output from a previous run. I'm starting here with the two forward slashes. This means a comment, a remark, just for me to remind me what I need to do. The compiler wouldn't care less about what follows those two remarks. And I'm saying here, let's go ahead and declare two variables. So I'm actually creating two variables in the memory. I have to specify, actually it should be three variables in the memory. I have to specify those variables as based on a data type. We discussed the data type, we discussed integer, we discussed also float. Within the integer we had a short, we had integer, we had long. Within the floating numbers we had float, we had double, and we have actually long double. And I have here chosen the integer variable, and I'm declaring value 1, value 2, and sum. All of them are separated by comma, which I could also initialize those directly right there, but I'm going to actually do two sections, one for the declaration and one for the assignment. The whole purpose of this program is to get two values in two different variables, value 1 and value 2s. Remember that we have to follow the rules of how to name our variables. Start with a letter, even though underscore is allowed, but we don't recommend it. And no space whatsoever, no choice of a reserved or keyword in C programming itself, like if, for, while, even main, printf. We should avoid those. And also, as you notice here, I have commas between those three variables to indicate they're different, but they happens to be of the same data type, which is integer. So I use the same line, which I could easily also do integer value 1 semicolon, then another line integer value 2 semicolon, but that would be a very inefficient way of doing the declaration. I usually declare all the variable of the same data type in the same line separated by comma. The last things that we should use to indicate that's the end of my declaration is the semicolon. Now I'm going to go ahead and assign two values to the variables. We're going to be discussing later the difference between an assignment statement and an equation. This equal sign, don't think about it as an equal. I'm saying 10 is going to be assigned to the variable value 1 in the memory. We'll discuss that a lot more. Now I'm assigning the 19 to value 2. So I have two variables now in the memory. Value 1 is going to be as an identifier holding the value 10 in a specific location in the memory. The same thing with value 2 is holding into or containing the value 19. So anytime I have to access value 1 or value 2 in a future calculation, value 1 is going to be 10 and value 2 is going to be 19, unless, of course, I decided to change them by another calculation. Then I'm going about to do the calculation section, which means this is the section that I'm going to be doing the crunching, number crunching, or or manipulation of my data or whatever I need to do in order to solve the problem. This problem, as I stated early, is to actually add two variables to store the sum and print the result. So it's going to be value 1, which is 10, plus value 2 is going to be 19. And the result of that will be assigned to the variable sum. So sum is going to be 29. The output, which is I need to really go ahead and check my spelling. I'm sloppy a little bit. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put output section. I'm going to show you 4 different ways of printing the same result. The first one with the printf, as you notice here, I did follow with the white space just for readability purposes, and open parentheses, double quote. Anything that follows the double quotes is going to be very, very, very picky. A space will be a space, capital letter will be capital letter. Whatever you decided to put in the double quotes is going to be as is. But there is also something that we have to do is to remember, or if we don't know yet, to know that there are data that we're going to show as a result. If we are about to show data that's stored in a variable, or as you will see as a constant, we have to use a data specifier to specify the data type that we're going to display. Knowing that value 1 was, and still actually, an integer, there is a specifier for it, it's called percentage %d. If it was a float, then it will be percentage %f. If it was a character, it will be percentage %c. So value 1 is going to be equal, as I'm showing that in the result. Now I'm not saying assignment because I'm saying it's really equal at this moment. And since I'm using the percentage %d, this, like the whole inside the printf, is waiting to be fed by a number. Where is the number is going to come? It's going to come after the formatting strings, right after comma, and the first variable or value is going to be the first percentage %d, which is going to be value 1, which means it's going to be value 1 is equal to 10. Then it's going to do a text, value 2 is going to, another variable that we need to really feed this percentage %d, which happens to be value 2. So it's going to be value 1 equal 10 plus value 2 equal to 19, comma. This is just like this. This is not the same comma like we have here. This is inside the English, comma, to indicate there is more to the thoughts, just unlike writing in English. Therefore, their sum is another percentage %d, which is going to be another integer variable waiting for me after the double quote, which is in this case is sum. So this is how it's going to look. Value 1 is equal to 10 and value 2 is equal to 19. Therefore, their sum is equal to 29. Notice I have 3 percentage %d. I have a 3 variable or 3 constants or mix of those constants and variable, or an expression that will result in a single value. In this case, we have 3 variables. In the second printf, which is a different flavor, I'm not saying any words. I'm just saying spaces in for specifier. I'm saying percentage %d, that's being value 1 is going to be giving this one here, plus with the right spaces, value 2 equal percentage %d, which is the sum. It's going to be 10 plus 19 equal 29. And the third flavor of printf, the formatting strings didn't change. It's exactly the same thing. It's expecting 3 integer values. The first one is going to be fed by value 1. The second one is going to be fed with the value by the variable value 2. But the third one is not going to be fed by the sum, which can be easily done. However, I just wanted to show you that you could actually use an expression or a calculation inside the printf function. So here, I'm adding 10 to 19, which is going to be 29, and the result will be given to this one here. So it didn't care how you got it, as long as the percentage will be fed with an integer value. Sometimes you really wanted to use a calculation inside the printf because that's probably something you want to do it on instantly or spontaneously. and you do want to really save that in a variable like we did in the sum, that's fine as well. The fourth variable is the same exact formatting string, so I'm expecting a 3 integer value, but here I'm feeding those, which is really not an effective way. That's like using this like a calculator rather than a C programming or program. So I'm giving the 10 to the first percentage D, the 19 to the second percentage D, and I'm actually doing a constants expression based on the fact that I'm saying 10 plus 19, which is going to give me the 29, and as a result, it's going to give this to percentage D, the third one. And this is the brace is going to end the whole thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, Control X, save the changes, go ahead and keep the same name. I'm going to use the the compiler. Let me go ahead and start with the clear. It's better. So I'm going to go ahead and I already wrote this one. GCC program 02.c space dash O in order to create an object code, and space program 02.out and hit enter. And I guess I don't have any error. I checked all the error, but I should, if we have the time, we should really leave it as natural as it gets in order to learn from some of the error. And I'm going to go ahead and link that. Here is the link for program 02.out, and you will notice I'm going to get 4 different output because I had 4 printf function. And notice that the first one is a little bit different because I'm actually using words and more like a kind of like I'm talking to somebody in the output here. Even though the printf has a different mechanism to how we should how did we calculate the 10 plus 19, but still it showed me the same output to the user doesn't know that the last one was a constant, but still showed this one as actually expression, still showed the same thing. This was actually using the sum variable and still showed the same value, which is 29. I'm going to stop here. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have not, let me know what's going on. And if you like those videos, we'll continue to record more of them for you. Thank you.